Hey there, we got Moet here, and I'm starting off this session with actually cleaning up her sit and making sure that she's staying seated to take treats or just keep 4 paws on the floor. I'm noticing a tendency for her to jump up, and that's not really something we want to encourage. So this is an exercise that you can do, and I suggest you don't do this with the clicker, because typically when we're handing her a treat, she starts to get up on her hind legs, kind of standing. We don't want to encourage that. And with the clicker, the timing can be tricky. You may have marked the good moment, but then she starts jumping up for the treat. So what you're going to do instead, come here, boy, good girl, good girl. So I'm gonna wait for a sit from her. I'm just gonna wait her out. Yes, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. Good. All right, now I'm going to deliver this treat to her. Good. If she keeps her butt down, I'm going to give it to her. Awesome. Good girl. Good job. Come here, boy. Good. 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 Good job. This teaches her to take treats a little bit more politely and be less snappy. When those big teeth come in, it's not going to be cute if she's kind of snapping and trying to grab things out of your hands. So this is just going to teach her a little bit of patience. So definitely a really good exercise for you to try out. Come here, boy. No, come on. Come here, silly girl. Come on, silly girl. Come on. Good job. Good girl. Good. Good job. Good. Good girl. Good girl. All right, so that's exactly what I don't want. You see how I kind of hovered that treat over her head? And I did hover it over her head a little longer than usual, but I do want her to realize that by trying to reach the treat before I'm ready to give it to her, it's going to make it go away. So if she does do that, I want you to take the treat hand away. Do not reward her for that jumping, but I will reward her for laying down. Anything but not jumping or trying to get treats out of my hand. Good. Good girl. I'm going to show that one more time. Good girl. Good. Good job. What's that? Good. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Good. And she resisted it this time, which is awesome to see. All right. All right. So now we are practicing teaching her to leave things on the floor alone. Last time I was here, I did give her an introductory version of Leave It, but now I actually want you to go ahead and see the process, what it looks like, what needs to happen so that she learns to leave things alone on the floor. What are you doing? You silly girl. That's your blanket. You can't take this blanket. All right, so now I have a treat. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on the floor, and this is how you're gonna replicate this exercise for both of them. So put this treat on the floor, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it underneath my foot. All I'm gonna do is stimulate her sense of smell and see if she will understand leave it, as in leaving this thing alone. Now when I put this under my shoe, she's gonna go for it. She's probably gonna scratch at my shoe. She's gonna be really, really engaged. And I'm not gonna do anything. I've just said leave it once, and I'm just gonna wait her out. Don't want to say leave it a billion times, because then you'll have to say leave it, leave it, leave it. Nope, we just want to say it once, and then we're going to wait her out. Now the moment she looks away from my shoe, the moment she finally disengages and she just gives up trying to get it, I'm going to click and I'm going to give her a different treat. And then she's going to go back and try again. And with time, she's going to eventually realize, oh, when I look away, I'm going to get rewarded. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. What's that? What's that? All right, Moet, leave it. Good job. Good job. So she finally did look away, and I marked that moment. Good. Good girl. Leave it. Good. Good job. And again, I am just stimulating her sense of smell. I want to take it one step at a time. If I just threw this treat on the floor and asked her to leave it, I'm probably going to fail, because she doesn't quite understand what leave it completely means yet. So one thing at a time, and then when I feel like she's grasping it, when it comes to her smell, then I'm going to start moving my foot a little to see if she can handle looking at the treat on the floor. And as you know, dogs think everything on the floor belongs to them, so it's really important that we really break this down, so that when you do come across that one thing that she is not allowed to have, when you say leave it, you can trust that she's going to stop going for it.
Leave it. Good leave it. Girl. Good, leave it. That's one. Good job. Good job, Mary. Good.
Good. And you notice here that she actually gave up a little bit sooner, which means that she's realizing that by trying to get at the shoe, it's just not serving her purpose. Good. Good job. Good. Good job.
Leave it. Good. Good job.
Leave it.
Good job.
Yes. Good girl. Good job. Good job. Moe, leave it.
Leave it. Good.
Moe, leave it. Good girl. Good girl. So right then, she was mulling over her options and she started chewing on the leash out of frustration. So I told her leave it again, but it is a way of her showing like, ooh, I don't really like this exercise, but I get it. She's starting to get it. I'm gonna do this a few more times and let you see how much better she gets at this. Moe, leave it. Good, and again, I'm just looking for the moments that she looks away. That is what leave it means, look away. If she is still looking at it, it means that she's still gonna go for it. Moe, leave it. Good. You also notice that I am saying her name, I'm also saying leave it. You have more control, more power that way. Her name is also a cue. So it's a way to get her attention first, and then you're asking something of her. And this goes for any behavior that you may be practicing. Pairing it with her name you may also see an increase in the success rate. Leave it. Moe, leave it. Good girl. Good job. Good. Good job. Good. Now I am working with things that I know that she can leave alone. I'm not going to put an entire chicken nugget on the floor because she's probably not going to want to give that up. That being said, the moment that leave it becomes simple as you're practicing, you want to go ahead and move on to something that's a little bit more difficult because the fact of the matter is leave it is not intended to be easy and it needs to be something that once it gets easy for you and it kind of starts looking like a trick, you need to move on to something more difficult because remember all the things that you may be up against later on in their life when you're out on a walk on the sidewalk and there's a chicken bone or a bug, lizard, a cat. So many things that you will be using leave it for, so you want to make sure that you are practicing appropriately. Hey, see ya. All right, you leave it. This one's a little bit different. Good job, but she did disengage very well. Leave it. Yeah, so now we're playing with a little bit of visual, because again, we have done some of this before. Moe, leave it. Yes. Good. Good job. Good job. And since I'm playing with a little bit of visual, I'm going to try and create a little bit of distance from it. Because once they start to close the gap, they kind of make the choice. They're like, well, I'm going to go for it. Leave it. Yes. Good girl. Leave it. Yes. Good girl. Now I'm tossing it a little bit. Leave it. Good girl. And she's really starting to get the hang of this, which is pretty cool. Moe, leave it. Yes, good girl. Good job, Moe. Leave it. So you notice there that she almost did it, but she was just too close. So she's almost there. Good girl. Good girl. But one thing we do tend to see is as we are teaching leave it, and they start to figure out that they're just not supposed to go for the thing you're asking them to leave alone, sometimes they start to create distance for themselves. So you notice she actually just kind of laid down back here because she can't have this thing anymore, or she's not supposed to have it, period. So she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go lay over there because this is really hard. Leave it. Good girl. Good job. And as I am tossing this treat on the floor, that is actually a pretty advanced version of practicing this. So this gives you a pretty good array of how you're going to practice this later on, whether you're dropping things and covering it with your foot, or if you're practicing something a little bit more difficult, something stinky like literal chicken, then you'll want to continue to do it with a closed hand, telling her to leave something alone in your hand, leaving things alone on the floor, and then eventually when they get a little bit bigger, maybe leaving things alone on the table or at eye level. She does have a tendency to kind of jump up and check things out, so that's also a leave it. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions about this, but she is a rock star and she's really getting the swing of things. See you later.